What is up, Robot Wars, BattleBots, and Bugglebots fans alike? Hardcore Kid here, or as this little name change thing board I have right here says, I am now known as Hardcore Axel. And tonight we're going to be looking at the latest episode of Robot Wars Extreme Warriors, which is Heat F. Also joining me, as always, I have what he is known as Apollo Inferno, but we like to refer to him as Otaku Nate.
You made me miss a Kenny Lauderdale live stream for this.
Sorry.
Shame on you, Brandon. I wanted to hear Kenny Lauderdale talk about anime on VHS and Laserdisc and old PS2 games and how the PS2 era was the best era for video games and how the filthy casuals are the worst. And now I'm just feeling bitter. I'm turning into Rowdy.
You don't want to turn into Rowdy, otherwise you'll be bitching about how Becky Lynch is over.
He's become the thing he hates.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say about that matter.
Yeah, see, he wants his precious Charlotte to win for the 16th time, just like her dad. But, so also joining us for our guest, we have ResettisReplicas.
Quicksand to England.
Yeah, you filled out your application to them?
Sure did.
All right, and we have, there's... the registration deadline is April 15th, I believe. 15th, 18th. So in about a month, we'll see who's going to be qualifying for Bugglebots Season 2 in May. And hopefully it's us.
Yeah. If we do if Brandon and I get in, I have some ideas for what we can do in between the matches. Like maybe we'll do a live hardcore podcast. I plan on entertaining the crowd with my singing and insane memorization skills and my impressions. And most importantly, I'm thinking of holding like a trivia contest. Because we've always wanted to like quiz Liz Mann on her knowledge about Robot Wars, but Sarah Malian actually suggested that we might have some other competitors in that in the little game show. So I'll set it up. Maybe I'll ask for trivia questions.
Who's Liz Mann?
It was from the Chimera team, the driver.
She
transitioned.
Right.
Yeah, she said something. Yeah, she said something in like Robot Wars, like, "Oh, I know every episode" or something to that effect.
Yeah, well, and we'll have trivia. We should have prizes. This past weekend, I attended this little. Science fair in Hawthorne, New Jersey, and I had all the Hex Bug toys set up, Matilda, Witch Doctor, and Bronco, and had all the kids play with the Hex Bugs and have a match, and whoever would get their robot off the table wins. And I gave the winners little stickers. I gave them a little nice. I Love Kitbot sticker, the Axe Backwards sticker, and a few other things. So yeah, we should have prizes. We should do something like that.
I can give away broken pieces of quicksand.
Perfect.
Sarah, if you're listening to that, that is yet another reason that you should accept me.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I'm serious. Like I was in Texas one time.
Let's give away.
And
let's give away like broken pieces of robot.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I was in Dallas one time, and I gave away the pieces because I'm such a nice guy, and one of the kids actually asked me to autograph it for him.
Oh, nice. You got a fan, Ian.
Oh, yeah. I'm just a magnet for fans.
Yeah. So, this episode, definitely a downgrade from some of the other episodes, I think.
You know...
Because there were some good matches, but I felt very... Yeah.
Yeah, the opening and closing matches were good. The rest was just eh.
I think the big problem is you have all these weird, differently designed robots, but none of their weapons really worked.
None of the robots really worked, if we must be honest.
They all moved.
Well, with the exception of the Heat winner and the Heat finalist.
Yeah, it's tricky, but I think we'll start talking about the robots and go over what we liked and disliked about them, because that's how the Robot Wars reviewer community works all the time. So the winner of this heat is yet another Juggerbot fresh off a coming runner-up in Robotica Season 3, and also going face-first into Matilda and Kilolot's fat asses, it's Tricerabot 3.0.
Tricerabot 3.0. Dinosaur!
Now, you're probably wondering, wait a minute, Tricerabot 3.0? What happened to 2.0? Here's where the chronological confusion begins, my friends. You see, the original Juggerbot, which is Juggerbot 1.0, which competed in the first season of Robotica, and under the disguise of the original Rosie in Season 1 of Robot Wars Extreme Warriors, that's the first version. The second version is Tricerabot, the original Tricerabot from Season 1 of Extreme Warriors. That's Juggerbot 2.0. This is the third version of Juggerbot, Tricerabot 3.0. Does that make any sense to you guys? Because why? Does it?
I mean, if they're in chronological order, which it sounded like they were, then I guess so.
But this is the third version of Juggerbot, but it's the second version of Tricerabot. So why not call it Tricerabot 2.0?
Probably for their own reference.
Yeah, I will say, like, I'm a really big fan of the Juggerbots, and Tricerabot in particular is just a beast. Hey. I mean, we saw it last year. It managed to knock Matilda on her side twice. It managed to get Kilolot into the pit. It burned up real nicely with all the cardboard decorations. It's fun to watch.
Oh yeah, I love Tricerabot. As I said, I'm a big fan of good push bots, and this is no exception. It pushes all the right buttons for me.
Yeah, and they still have they don't have as much cardboard paper bag insanity as they did last year, but they still have like the dinosaur head and whatever the heck is going on in the back. So
and they still have Nom.
Nom. What's Nom?
That's the caveman, right?
Nor.
I think Nor.
Oh, Nor. Yeah, sorry. I'm watching the video and it looks like Nom.
It's Nor. Yeah, it's fun.
So he's from so he's from Fire Emblem Fates?
Maybe.
That's the name
I don't play Fire Emblem games.
That's the name of one of the kingdoms, Nor, only it's spelled with an H.
Norse mythology, huh?
Ugh.
Yes. So this new version of Tricerabot, it's now got a flipping tail, and I believe, and I'm always confused with these kinds of designs, I believe the tail is technically the front of the robot. Because why would you have the weapon at the back? Like they have the controller where if you just pull the throttle, I guess it goes flipper first, and then you move it the other way, it goes backwards, and that's the face.
Know.
I don't know. It's silly. Like
it's only Tricerabot back to front.
I think the front is the side without the flipper. They seemed a lot more natural going that way.
It's strange. What do you think of Tricerabot, Ian?
My first experience with it was the Game Boy Advance game. I think it was called Robot Wars Extreme. That game is highly underrated. I think it's possibly the second best in the entire franchise.
Now when you drive Tricerabot in that game, when you push forward, does it go flipper first or face first?
I believe it goes face first.
Oh boy. It's so strange. Why? Why? I don't know. But I will say though, like Mike Morrow, he's a really good driver. He was just going crazy on all these bots, and it's so much fun seeing Tricerabot just running around, crashing into things. Pieces are flying all off of it. The head fell off at least twice. But as silly as it looks, it's still a tough bot. Anything else to say about it?
Nah, pretty much we said everything that needs to be said.
I'd say Tricerabot is the right way to do a Rambot. I mean,
yes.
I think I know a thing or two about the right way to do a Rambot.
And I also love the design of the flipper, because if it ever gets flipped upside down, it can still use the flipper. It's I'm amazed not a whole lot of bots came up with this idea. I know Gladiator came up with had a flipper like this, and there's a couple sportsman bots I believe has that kind of design. Because I think Alex Horn built something like Gladiator, where it was a spike that just goes up and down.
Oh yeah, way back in the day, he had a bot called Shishkabot.
Shishkabot. Yeah, that's a really cool bot. So, yeah, it's a real cool design and really fun team. I'm a little disappointed they kind of got rid of the cavemen outfits, but I guess it was too hot in the studio in January in England.
I don't know. It might have been more like less time to prep.
I think they actually filmed this in like the summer or something.
Something like, yeah, I don't know.
I think I can look it up. Let me take a look at that.
All right, well, I think well, while you do that, I think we'll move on to the rest of the.
Oh yeah, I got it right here. January 02.
Wow. Okay, so so maybe they just time constraints. They weren't able to get them, but
yeah, it's like rarely boiling in England.
No. I don't know. Is it going to be freezing out there in May when we go out there?
I doubt. I've been to England. I went in September. It'll either be nice and clear or extremely rainy.
All right. So Seattle then. No, just kidding. I think we've said everything we can about Tricerabot. We'll move on to the rest of the roster. Nate, what's your favorite kind of wrestler?
I love brawlers, man.
You love brawlers. Who's your favorite brawler?
Bruiser Brody.
Bruiser Brody. And what do you think Bruiser Brody would think of this brawler?
Well, I don't know what he'd think. He's dead.
Oh, damn it.
Well, yeah, he got murdered.
Well, that took an unexpectedly dark turn.
Yeah, he was murdered in Puerto Rico, 1988.
I'm sure if he ever came back from the dead, he'd kill somebody with this bot. So yeah, brawler, do your thing, Nate.
Brawler, thwackbot,
and it's the thwackiest thwackbot ever.
The thwackiest thwackbot that ever thwacked. I actually really like brawler. I think it's a cool concept. I just wish that it was a lot more stable, if that makes any sense. Because unlike the Master or Stinger, where, it has to use the momentum to swing the thing, rather, I like the fact that it's a sit and spin bot. And as we saw in the Heat final, it actually put up a great fight against Tricerabot.
When I first saw Brawler and saw how tiny it was compared to the other bots, I thought it was a middleweight. And you guys are probably thinking, well, why would somebody enter a middleweight into Robot Wars? Dude, we have 3 other robots in this series that are middleweights. This is nothing. But no, I saw the stat board for this thing. This thing weighs 214 pounds.
I think a lot of that must go into, like, the armor or, like, the weaponry.
It looks like it's made out of hard ox.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, it's built like a brick.
Yeah, and it's got 2 weapons. It's got the hammer on one side, and it's got, like, this weird-looking diamond
We'll call it a
spear
We'll
thingy
call it
at
a
the front.
mace.
We'll call it a mace. And, yeah, it is solid, and it kept going. I mean, it took all kinds of abuse, but still kept moving. But I don't know. It's like I think I've just become so having witnessed robots like Nuts 2 and some of the other crazy Gabriel. I think it's 2019. We've kind of been accustomed to much more powerful thwack bot spinners like such. Brawler. It's just an average thwack bot, honestly. I do like the team though. This is the same team that gave us Tiger Wood in Robotica. So yes, and I like the team are fun. That they always like putting like bandages and duct tape all over it, like Brett the Brick after fighting a bunch of spinners. But
it's the Jerry Cheevers of Robot Wars.
Yeah. Who?
I'll send you a link.
All right, you send a link. Ian, what do you think of Brawler?
I think it was a pretty serviceable robot. Definitely had hard armor because Discotek's disc just bounced off of it with no damage. But I mean, they were always going to be up against it with that not being able to attack unless another robot ran into them.
Yeah, that's why you have. That's why Nuts 2 has the interesting design of Melty Brain, so it can spin, but it can still move towards the opponent, so it doesn't have to. Because there's going to be a machine that is just going to be sitting there waiting for it to stop. But yeah. Nate just sent a message.
Yeah, that's
like...
Jerry Cheevers.
What the hell is that mask?
Well, whenever Jerry got hit in the face with a puck or a stick, he'd draw a line of stitches to mark where he got hit.
God damn, that's scary. Yeah, but Brawler, I think it was a little fortunate to be able to make it to the Heat final. I mean, in that first round match, if Discotech didn't go into the pit, they probably would have gone out, because Discotech and Tricerabot were definitely the more aggressive. Brawler, I think, was just hanging in there. The second round, they definitely got lucky as well, because Dragbot was pushing them around, but they managed to stay alive while Dragbot just dragged. But hey, you know what? You never know what's going to happen in this show. If your opponent breaks down, you can win with either skill or luck. That's how it works in this sport. But it's a serviceable full body spinner thingamajig.
Yeah, full body thwackbot.
Full body thwackbot. You want to know who is a better full body thwackbot than Brawler, though? The second round finisher, King of Diamonds.
King of Diamonds, roulette wheel.
And
round and round this robot goes. Where it stops, well, your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, this robot. The weapon. I was a little disappointed by the weaponry, because it spins at 100 miles an hour, which is some good speed. It didn't really have a whole lot of bite to it, though.
The teeth on this thing are tiny, like absolutely minuscule. There's no real oomph to it. Plus, the blade itself is extremely small. Like, it has no range at all. You have to get right in to your opponent's face in order for it to work. It's not like like Fluffy or Tombstone, where the blade has a good deal of range to it, and there's also like big teeth on the end of it to batter your opponent. It'll take little nicks out of it, but it won't like really bite your opponent.
Yeah, I think at this day and age, it's like these horizontal spinners. Sometimes it means having less is more. Like the weapon on this thing has 4 edges to it. It really could have just had like 2, kind of like Tombstone or Carbide or Fluffy, and it probably could have had more range and more bite to it. Because my original version of Mondo Bizarro had like 4 teeth on each side, but once you move the 2 teeth into the middle and 2 teeth to the outside, the weight is still balanced, but you're still able to get plenty of bite. And this thing just didn't have enough bite. But I will say it spins nicely. Like when it does when it spins around in circles really fast in a blur. That's awesome. It's just a shame that like with Brawler, nobody wanted to go near it. But it's tricky, and it's just a shame. There could have been potential in this, but it just wasn't there for me. But and Dean Dubois, did they compete with any other bots after this? I
don't know.
They were.
Oh my god. You should see the robot they had in BattleBots. I-Beam.
Oh my god!
Yes!
That thing looked... Apparently I was talking with Anderson about that. That thing is a lot lighter than it looks.
It's a robot with a giant I-Beam going right through it. That's hilarious. Oh my god. After Robot Wars entered its 12 years hiatus, King of Diamonds continued to compete in live combat events with average success. And yeah, I think I have a video. I think I have a video that I had found that I have saved on my channel somewhere. It did compete at a few events. It didn't do all that well, but yeah. Yeah. Ian, what do you think of King of Diamonds?
I like that it's thematic. Because with a like a box-ish shaped robot with a little spinner, it can be very easy to make it look like nothing. But my hat's off to them for doing those impractical diamond shapes all over.
Yeah, that looks really cool. And they had cripes almighty. They also had spikes. The wiki picture you're looking at right now doesn't have it, but it did have the spikes, and it also had a wedge on the back. So they definitely went all out with this bot. But yeah, it just had a little bit of teething troubles. But and unfortunately, this is the only match this is the only episode that we actually get to see it in action. We don't see it in any of the side events. We don't see it in Nickelodeon Robot Wars. It's just 2 matches, and that was it. But I will say this though, it's a cool looking bot with the King of Diamonds logo on the back and the little cross. But yeah, it's a decent little design. One design that I don't understand is the other second round loser in this episode, Dragbot.
Dragbot. Wedge?
So the weapon stat board said spinning blades. Okay then, so it's a big wedge and it has a spinning disc on the back. Cool. What are the spikes on the wedge supposed to be?
They're supposed to hook underneath the robot and hold it in place, but most of these robots have solid base plates under them, so I don't know what the point is.
So is it supposed to be like those parking garages where they have the spike strips? The spike strips where if you go the wrong way and you end up running right into it?
Yeah, something
My
like
dad
that.
almost ran over tire spikes once.
Oops. Oh, the builder Lance Greathouse said this is a very low budget design, and I'm like, low budget? You've got a spinning disc on the back. You've got those weird spikes on the front. This thing also apparently had a big lance sticking out the front, a la Limpet. Like, this thing has more weapons than most of the competitors in the UK series of Robot Wars.
I'm honestly curious as to why they just didn't go whole hog and make it a flipper. Because we don't really have many flippers in Extreme Warriors.
Yeah, but it's like over there in the U.S., like pneumatic flipper bots. Number one, they're very hard to build and maintain. Number two, they don't allow big pneumatic flippers anymore. But like Lance said, he wanted to make it very low budget, so he built some kind of weird conveyor belt system in the wedge. And try and use that. And, well, I will say it is a good wedge. Like it was able to push all the other bots around. And it probably could have given Tricerabot a run for its money. But it's kind of overly complicated. And I'm disappointed they didn't put more emphasis on the disc at the back. Because if I want to have a robot design like that, you could at least try and get some points and do some good destruction with the spinning disc. They only used the disc once in this episode, and that was in the second round.
Yeah, disc struck me as an afterthought to their unique lifter.
Unique indeed, but it's a shame. It could have easily made the heat final if the electronics didn't derp on it, or I'm not sure. Was it the electronics or was it the radio?
I think they had radio. Happened? No. Radio issues. That was King of Diamonds.
King of Diamonds, and like Dragbot hit the spinner, stopped, then moved again, then stopped again. So might have been radio. Might have been a loose connection.
I think it might have been. I think they may have had radio issues.
Yeah. I mean, I know that like coming over to England, a lot of them, I think they were all mandated to use certain parts. And like not all the robots really took to them.
And I think they said they were given their own. The producers gave them their own radios.
Yeah, something like that. I know a couple of them just ended up like the radios just ended up not working. Like lightning tracks.
Oof. Yeah.
Poor thing.
It's an interesting experiment though, but it's just I think if they had done, I don't know how those wedge spikes were supposed to work or anything. I hope Lance Greathouse, I believe he has a YouTube page because I know he had a video uploaded at some point. I wish that they had like a video doing a test showing what those spikes are supposed to do.
Yeah. I mean, I know he's now making customized wheelchairs like to allow people to do stuff. Like he's got.
Do they have like Do they have stair climber wheels?
Well, no, that's kind of dangerous. But he's got like a bunch of ATV designs, bunch of like one for a guy who liked fishing, some mechanized casting, so he can still do that. Basically letting people do all the things they enjoy, even if they can't walk anymore.
Because I bring that up because somebody at my church, or maybe it was at another church, but I saw someone in a wheelchair that had stair climber wheels.
Oh.
Ooh, nice.
I'd be a little bit nervous about that because I don't know. Me personally, I'd be like, are we sure that these are going to work perfectly?
Yeah, but that does it for Dragbot. It is a wedge with a low-budget wedge that's low budget, but highly complicated at the same time.
They could have used some paint.
Nah, well, who knows?
I don't know.
A lot of people seem to like the silver checkered plating.
I guess. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of that. I felt they could have used more thematics.
Yeah, but you know, a robot that does have thematics to it is the termite.
The termite grinder.
This is from Team Critter, the team that gave us Nate's favorite robot from last year, Close Enough.
Well, why did you have to change your team name? It was so good. Real men don't need instructions. That is the best name for a team ever.
Yeah, well, the termite is definitely an improvement over Close Enough, although to some extent, because now the termite, this is the tick from Robotica. This is a very Robotica heavy heat, I think, because you have a Robotica Series 2 champion, you got the Tiger Wood guys, you've got Juggerbot, and now you've got the tick. The termite,
and you got the Season 2 champ, sort of.
Yeah, kind of. And so the termite, it's got. I have seen this on Robotica, and it does look cool. I like the camper design with on the wheels, and it's got saw blades on the wheels,
the thing
which I think
moved
are just
into the arena faster than it actually moved in the fight.
Yeah, mainly because they forgot to charge their batteries. But yeah, oops, that happens. Now, that said, it looks cool, but combat-wise, it's too small, I think. Like, it's only 165 pounds. It was completely out-dwarfed by Dragbot. And again, and this is the case with a lot of these spinners in Extreme Warriors, the weapon doesn't have a whole lot of bite to it. I've seen it cut up the pallets in Robotica, but when you're going up like these big bots like when it went up against King of Diamonds, the blades really couldn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, they were made primarily for Robotica without a lot of time or money to make adjustments.
But it's always funny seeing it just skittering around, trying to climb up the robots like a termite climbing up a desk or something. Oh, what's that? There's a bug! Quick, kill it! Don't worry, I got it. It's dead. But, yeah, Nate, what do you think of the termite?
Well, it ticks all the boxes of things I like in a four-wheeled box robot, but in terms of what it did in the ring, I want more! I want more!
Want more? Yeah. I think if it had more, I think if the weaponry was really bigger, or if the robot had a bit more oomph to it, but yeah, there wasn't really much it could do in this match because the weapons couldn't do anything. The batteries died out on it, and some people may be upset that it went out in the first round because it looked like it was still moving at the end. I'm not really all that upset because King of Diamonds, I think, did a lot more, and the termite was just there. But yeah, Ian, what do you think of the termite?
Very cool robot. It's the standard of coolness that I think all the BattleBots should go for.
Yeah, just make it a little bit bigger. Give it some roids. Give it some more of that juice. But that was the termite, and we'll finish off with the other first round loser. And good God, did they get unlucky. It is Discotech.
Discotech. Burn, baby, burn. Oh, wait, wrong song.
Wrong robot, too.
Yeah,
it's a shame. This is from Team Robot Dojo, the Robotica Series 2 champions.
Aren't they the same people behind Propellerhead?
Yeah.
It's they have like a whole group, there's like 2 families on them. They got I forget their names, but they're both from Colorado.
Oh, and, it's Mike Konchak.
Mike Konchak was Propellerhead.
Yeah, I think he was
Tom Holt.
Yeah, I think he was the boss behind both of them. Like, and obviously he couldn't do 2 robots, so he gave himself the one with the better chance of winning.
Yeah. So as far as Discotech goes, looking at it, it kind of reminds me of a reverse Rosie, except the wedge is at the back instead of the front.
Tricerabot. What is the front of Discotech? Because it used its wedge more than its disc.
Well, obviously, because once the disc died, they had to start using the wedge.
The disc looked really flimsy, but hey, it did better in this fight than it did in Nickelodeon Robot Wars.
Oof. Yeah, it's unfortunate. And, that disc is actually powered by an E-Tech motor.
Oh, wow!
Yeah. So you've got the power of Nightmare in that little disc, and unfortunately, it really couldn't do anything because it exploded right in the middle of the fight. A little too much power, but yeah, I think if they didn't go full Reed, they would have won. But I'm not sure how well they would have done against Stragbot. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's again. I think of all the box robots in this episode, this is probably my least favorite. It just doesn't do anything for me. Like, Tricerabot and the termite had personality. This is just bog standard.
Part of me kind of wishes they had the Flexi Flyer gimmick with the lifter and the twisting body, but that probably, I don't know how well that would have held up in the arena.
Oh, yeah, that would have gotten, ripped like Ultimo Destructo.
Oh!
Kit Kat bar.
Oh, dear. Yeah, it's a shame, because, you see all these bots from Robotica, like Botzilla and Discotech, and they do so well there. Then they come to Robot Wars, and they just lose.
I mean, it's like a different competition altogether.
Yeah.
You don't need to, stand up nearly as hard in Robotica as you do in Robot Wars.
Oh, too true. Yeah, I think that does it for the competitors. So we'll move on to the actual episode.
I wanted to have one more. Yeah, just about Discotech. What it reminds me of is a sort of training robot for you to fight against. It looks sort of like a toy, sort of like a compilation of everything standard. So, you've got the wedge, you've got the minimalistic spinner, you got the wheels that you can do your target practice on. You got a body that's pretty easily puncturable. So it's the perfect sparring opponent.
I think didn't they use Discotech as sort of like a platform? Yeah, it says here, in 2005, Discotech, without its weapon and weapon motor, was donated to the University of Colorado in Boulder to be an autonomous robotic platform for computer science engineering students. So
it's not going to waste. That's the worst thing, seeing these Robot Wars robots just rusting away.
Yeah. Oh, and also the team competed as Pro-Am in BattleBots, and I remember Pro-Am. It had a much better weapon, though. It had a Manta-type vertical spinner to it. I think if they had that as opposed to the disc they had in this episode, they probably would have done a bit more damage. But what can you do?
I see. They were going full on disc rather than trying to hedge it between disc and wedge.
Yeah. Yeah, but that does it for the competitors. So we'll talk about the episode. At the beginning of the episode, they show highlights from season 1, and Stefan Frank mentions that Tricerabot did a good job of upsetting Matilda, who'll definitely be looking for some revenge today. Spoiler alert, she doesn't get it.
Here's the thing. as I said, God bless Stefan Frank. I know that a lot of our UK listeners may not be a big fan of his, but you cannot deny that he doesn't slack off on the job. Like he
does not. He does
he
a real
goes
good
real
job.
hard, and we appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and he does a good job hyping up the robots, and he does an all right job in this episode. He didn't have a whole lot to work with because aside from that first match, a lot of the matches were boring. But he tries to keep them as interesting as he could. And hey, that's what you need. Otherwise, you get a boring match, and you'll have something like when you're watching a WWE pay-per-view with the announcers just sleepwalking through it. Congratulations, Coachman! You got fired from WWE, and you won the Wrestling Observer Award for worst announcer.
Coach got fired again?
He got fired again. So, yep. The heck with him. Yeah, so we'll talk about the matches. Tricerabot versus Brawler versus Discotheque. This is my pick for match of the episode.
Yeah, easily the best. Each robot, there was just flying everywhere, bouncing around. I love fights like this where every robot gets a shot in. It's just watching. It's like watching a multi-ball mode in pinball where all the pinballs are just bouncing around off the bumpers, through the ramps and the spinners. I love it.
And it all really came down to who goes into the pit first, and Discotheque ended up feeling the curse of John Reed and ended up spinning itself right into the pits. And they were doing good, but once they got flipped upside down and they were just having trouble controlling it, and then Tricerabot and Brawler actually did like a team-up move where they pushed it towards the pit and it ended up going in, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, but it's a shame because I think if it had gone to a judge's decision, Discotheque would have gone through with Tricerabot. Like the disc broke, like right in the middle of the match. You see it just smokes, but it was doing good. It was slamming Brawler around. It ripped off Tricerabot's face. It was doing work out there.
Yeah.
What do you guys think, Ian?
Yeah, very fast-paced match. I can't top Nate's description, that's for sure.
If it had gone to a judge's decision, what do you think would have been the winners? Tricerabot, obviously, but between Brawler and Discotheque.
I would probably say Brawler, simply because it showed a lot more aggression.
Yeah, it'd be close for sure. I mean, Discotheque was getting victimized a lot, and so could have been close.
It was a fun match, but Tricerabot and Brawler do go through. Now we move on to the other first round melee, which is Dragbot, King of Diamonds, and the Termite.
None of these robots want to work properly. Well, except for Dragbot, but Dragbot did all the work.
Dragbot did all the pushing. King of Diamonds was trying to do the spin move, but nobody wanted to go near it. The Termite was
died.
useless.
Like, what happened to the Termite? Like, did they...
The batteries ran out.
Please do not tell me that we have another Evil Weevil situation on our hands.
Oh my god, we do.
If they used the wrong battery... Ian, you just took the words right out of my mouth. We have two bug-themed robots on our sides that their batteries died out.
I think in their case, they just forgot to charge it. Like, no.
Oh no! Good Nix. There was a bit of controversy because King of Diamonds also broke down kinda and got stuck against the wall, and then Shunt presses the pit release button, and Stefan Frank is like, "Shunt hits the pit button. That's against the rules. Just wait for the Nickelodeon
Screw the
series."
rules. I'm a house robot.
Yeah. And then King of Diamonds kind of like Shunt pushes King of Diamonds towards the pit, but King of Diamonds kind of drives in. I don't know, but despite this, they still get to go through with Dragbot. Termite just kind of died like a bug being stuck in the middle of a poison cloud, a raid cloud. Yeah. What can you do? The right robots definitely won. So, Dragbot and King of Diamonds go through. We move on to the second round matches. The first one was Tricerabot versus King of Diamonds, and it was obvious who was going to win this.
Tricerabot, without question.
Yeah. Although Tricerabot, we talk about how it has all the paper bag decorations. Here, it was covered in what looked like green tape. Like what the heck happened here?
It could have been an attempt to entangle.
I don't know.
I mean, we did hear from Ed last time that they allowed entanglement devices here.
Yeah. Well, and like they always say, duct tape fixes everything. Although I don't know. I don't know what duct tape is green.
I have green duct tape.
Oh, really?
Fits,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, it fits with quicksand.
I've seen. Yeah, you can get multicolored duct tape.
Yeah, I can get you any color at
actually,
Michael's.
have you ever tried using hockey tape for fixing things? It's surprisingly sticky.
I always like I have athletic tape. Sometimes I have to wrap it around my arm if my arm's hurting. But yeah, never thought of that. King of Diamonds ended up losing drive in one of the wheels, and because the 50% immobilization rule doesn't qualify in this series, they got to keep going, but it didn't make a difference because Tricerabot just edged it into the pit for the second pitting in a row for Tricerabot in this episode. So, yippee! Tricerabot is through to the heat final. Then we got some bullshit with Dragbot versus
I would have
Brawler.
pegged Brawler to win this heat.
No,
I'm at the battle. What am I saying?
The heat. What do you? Yeah, but you root for the underdog. Like Brawler was definitely the underdog going into the match. Dragbot was just pushing him around, getting under them, flipping them, hitting with the disc, and then Dragbot hit that stupid floor spinner and kind of sort of.
What happened? Did the drive become misaligned?
Maybe tire came loose inside something, and that's why it wasn't working all that well. I don't know. It was weird. And the match did end up going the distance, shockingly, because Dragbot wasn't immobile for 30 seconds. But even after Cease was called, Kill-A-Lot just threw it out of the arena anyway. Hey, no worries, Dragbot. You still got to make an appearance in the Kill-A-Lot and the House Robots DVD of you getting tossed out. So, yeah, it's a shame, but Dragbot, it's a wedge, and unfortunately, wedges just aren't the way of the future. I mean, look at all the not wedges we have today. Look at all the D2s. And original
Wedge
sin.
is not a creative weapon.
It's true.
Yeah,
although I dispute that green is a creative color.
Word. Like if Dragbot at least gave some kind of personality or character to it instead of just being all silver.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm telling you, they need to paint.
Yes, give it what would you color Dragbot?
I'd color it like black like asphalt and make the spikes yellow to make it look like what do you call one of those traps set
tire spikes.
Spike strips? Stop
something
sticks?
like that. Yeah, something like that. You know, one of those road spikes that the police set up to catch someone.
They call those stop sticks or
stop
spike
sticks.
strips.
Yeah, I'd do that as my theme.
Yeah, that could work. I think that's what they were going for with Dragbot, but I have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, it clearly didn't work based on the fact that Brawler got on their wedge and spinning completely uninterrupted.
Yeah. But Brawler ended up getting the shock win and goes through to the heat final to face Tricerabot, and just about everything you could say about the King of Diamond match, you could say for this match. Just Tricerabot dominating.
It's mostly just King of Diamonds spinning uncontrollably because of a wonky aerial.
Yeah, well, to be fair, they knocked off Tricerabot's head again, but
What, the cardboard, you mean?
Yeah, cardboard.
Oh, yeah, they knocked off the cardboard. Great job, guys.
So, yeah, but There were a couple. Actually, the only moment, there was one good moment that I liked in this match where Tricerabot was able to get underneath Brawler, and it's just running into them, and it's like Tricerabot just kind of leans back while it's got Brawler up on the flipper and just slams it into the wall. Oh. That would have been awesome if they were just able to get it right over the wall. That would have been a decent Uda.
Yeah,
because we don't really get that many Udas in Extreme Warriors. The only competitor who does get an Uda is Cyclone. Because there could have been other times. Because remember when Panzer almost drove over Probophobia? That could have happened. But yeah. I'm just looking for something interesting to happen in this episode because a lot of the matches were just very. What's a good word?
They were just there.
There, yeah, just very cut and dry. Like Tricerabot, like in the first series, at least when Tricerabot was fighting, that they would have some kind of wackiness to it. Like maybe it would catch itself on fire and just run around as a giant fire beast, like the monster from Lord of the Rings. Or just rams into robots, or just like when it ran into Matilda. Matilda was in this match, but she didn't do a damn thing. Not helped by the fact that she still has her chainsaw tail. Which come on, why?
Yeah, I think they were trying to market her because they had all the merchandise had Matilda with the chainsaw, so they wanted to have her that way at least once for the American audience to see.
I'm holding my Hexbug Matilda right here. Don't worry, we're not making fun of you. We're just saying how dare those producers put damage you so much. Oh, yeah. There she is. Yeah. So
I think Tricerabot was being a little more serious this time. Like as you pointed out, they didn't catch themselves on fire like they did last season. I think they were in it to win it this time.
Well, at least now, when I understand, they're allowed to take the trophies home. So obviously, you want to win and get that trophy. So, yeah.
So when were they not allowed to?
Because I think in the first season, somebody said they weren't allowed to take the trophies home. I think the only ones who did, I think the Panzer got to take their trophy home. And Manta got to take a trophy home, but they got the War of Independence trophy instead for some reason. But yeah, so I don't know.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't have a trophy for each event, but rather they just put a plate on each one, like had one trophy and just switched the plate every episode.
Because if you look at some of the special episodes, they have a trophy, but the plate on the front is censored.
I think it was because they only made so many, or a finite amount. And they wanted to hide the fact that, hey, this isn't the trophy for this event. But that's just me speculating.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they said in Gearheads that the winners didn't get to take the trophies home. Yeah. I mean, Gearheads, had some trouble differentiating between the first and second seasons of U.S. Wars. So they were talking about it as a single entity, so some of it got confusing. But at one point or another, they were not taking trophies home, according to that book.
Stupid. Yeah, but as far as this episode goes, there isn't a whole lot to say about it. Like, there were moments, but a lot of the robots' weapons didn't work. It was very Rambot heavy. And Dragbot was a bizarre design which didn't work. Yeah, I don't know. It's frustrating trying to review an episode, especially when you have Tricerabot is still one of my favorite robots, but this episode was just like business as usual to them. Just get under robots, throw them around, get them into the pit. So, on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to give it a 4.
I'm with you, man. I'm going to give it a 4, too. The first and final battles were great. The rest was just kinda...
Yeah. How about you, Ian?
I'm actually going to be a little more generous. I'm going to give it a 6 because I think it was better than the prior heat with Rosie the Riveter. That one was just bland, and this one, I admit, wasn't the best, but it had a much more convincing heat winner and more robots that I could really get behind.
It's true. Yeah, so that pretty much does it for Heat F. Next episode is Heat G, and I will say this, Heat G is a much better episode. It's got some much better robots. In fact, this is the heat that I like to call the tank bowl heat for you urinating tree fans, because there's a lot of tanks in the next episode, and there are some matches that will definitely qualify for tank bowl matches. But yeah, definitely looking forward to that. It has Destructive Criticism, G-Force, Marauder, General Chomp-Salot 2, Runaway, and Russ Barrow with lightning tracks. So we'll definitely be check out that episode and see how that goes. But yeah, and until then, I am the Hardcore Kid.
I'm Otaku Nate.
I'm your hopefully future Bugglebots champion, ResettisReplicas.
Peace out and cease.
Quicksand to England.
Mondo Bizarro to Bristol. I don't know. I got nothing for this episode.